Shericka Jackson sets a big meet record with an easy victory in Rabat. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to go. When you do that, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. We drop a video at least once a day here in Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button. And finally, leave your thoughts after this sports analysis where we take a look at and we break down the races. So, are you ready? Yep, good to go. Well, about an hour ago, Jamaica's Shericka Jackson set a new meet record of 21.98 at the Rabat Diamond League in, well, arguably a very, very easy victory. Although, to be honest, she had a horrific start. No transition. She just got up out of the blocks and stood up straight and ran. This is something you must never do in the sprints, but in the end, the victory was quite easy. She looked seamless. And apart from the first, I would say, 50 meters of the race, it was easy. Easy breezy. Jackson won in a meet record, as I stated before, and the season's best of 21.98, ahead of her MVP compatriot, Antonique Strong. Strong ran a great race, running a new personal best in the 200 meters of 22.15, ahead of Tamara Davis of the United States, who ran 22.30, a new personal best, and Kalia White, who ran 22.52 to take the fourth spot from the US.
Jackson third from left, and you get into ease away now, coming through strongly in four is Strong, who's finishing really strongly, finishes a meter.
So although not the technically a great run, like I said, the first 50 meters was horrendous. Clearly she was working on a particular part of the race. If you remember her run, her opening 200 meters at the National Stadium, I believe it might have been in the Velocity Fest, or it might have been all comers, sometimes I can't remember. That was a much better run, I think. Technically a better run, and still there were flaws. Clearly she's still working out the kinks. If you remember, that season opener was 22.25 ahead of Stephanie Ann McPherson, who ran 23.38 to take that second spot.
First real treat of the evening, Shericka Jackson goes in lane number 4. Look at her already cover the rest of the field. Shericka Jackson transitioning beautifully down the stretch, has already shown fabulous form at 100 and 400 this season, and in her 200 season opener she produces another fabulous performance. Shericka Jackson, 22.18. That is a fine way to open her campaign over 200 meters. Positive 1.1 meters per second, the wind speed, the time adjusted, 22.26 for Shericka Jackson. 23.38 for Stephanie Ann McPherson in second. Ariana Pinto gets third at 23.74, and Moody finishes in fourth position. Shericka Jackson with a...
Now, the way that we have seen, and we've discussed this in previous videos, the way that Shericka Jackson and her MVP coaching team work, they're working on different segments of the race. We said this at length. We also predicted that she would win this 200 meter quite easily because there was actually nobody there who could actually press her, like no one at all. And it's evident in how she runs. We've seen her do this in 2021, 2022, and this year. She's working on segments of her race. Last year, if you remember, she was working at the start, which is why she was doing all those 60 meters indoors. So clearly she's working on different aspects of the race. And even when she ran in Doha and lost to Sha'Carri Richardson, who ran that world leading time of 10.78, let me refresh your memory.
Smith gets out strongly. Shericka Jackson matches her. Dasher Smith with maybe half a metre at the moment. These two just running away, but Jackson and Richardson. Here comes Richardson. It's going to be tight. Richardson's going to get it.
Jackson came second in this race and ran 10.85. She said in an interview after that she was simply working on the start of her race. We've seen her do this many times. We've seen her run races. She comes second or third, and she's happy because she's like, okay, what we're working on is what we're working on. She's a technician, people. Her team, that MVP team that she has in herself, they're brilliant. They work on different aspects of the race, because for her to run a 21.45 or a 10.71, the race has to be technically as close to proficient as it can possibly be. So at this point, all she's actually working on, and it's still very early, is the different aspects of the race, which is why she ran that awful first 50 meters in this race in Rabat. I'm sorry I couldn't show you the entire video when I can, for copyright reasons, people. I tried that yesterday and I got copyright claim 4 times, which is why it took so long for the video to come out. So yeah, sometimes it's cool with them and sometimes it's not. Anyway, that's not the point. The point I'm making is that was an awful start in this race, and she still ran 21.98. In other words, had she ran the first 50 meters the way she normally would have, she would have ran something close easily, I think, to 21.85 easily, like absolutely easily. So she's clearly working on different aspects of the race, and I can't see anyone who can possibly challenge her and or beat her. I think the fastest time in the world right now was run by that remarkable young lady from St. Lucia, who runs for the Texas Longhorns and who went to high school in Jamaica, the St. Catherine High. You know I'm talking about, Julian Alfred. I believe, and please check me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 21.91, which is now the world lead. And she ran. This young lady, I don't want to say she jogged, because you can't jog at 200 meters, but like I said, that first 50 meters of this 200 meter meet record of 21.98 that Shericka Jackson set in Rabat earlier, it was terrible. It was horrific. Like, she literally just stood up out of the blocks and ran. You are never supposed to do that, but it's evident to me that she's working on a different aspect of the race. And I've said this ad nauseum, I've talked about this in many videos, that she's a little different. She's just working on technicalities. We know she has a speed. I said it. 10.71 is really fast, people. 21.45 is the second fastest 200 meter all time. She's just working on perfecting the race to ensure that all the elements comes together. I said together, the Jamaican in me. Together, to ensure that she's able to challenge what I think she's trying to run something close to a 21.35. She said in her interview, her press conference for Rabat, that she had not written down a number yet. She was going to write down the number after she ran this 200 meters. And if she was able to run 21.98 with the first 50 meters being awful, and I mean that, really awful, and win the last 150 with such ease, we're looking at possibly a sub 21.40 this year, people. If wishes were horses, some of you will say. I've been right about 75% of the time, other people. So I'm thinking it's a possibility. But this, of course, is my 2 cents. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts. Were you pleased with her run? Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up!